atumia ni mweka wega murugamite hapa muthuri angithuka nyomba mucii muno kamuraga nikora muraga murakirwa no mume thirikari-ini na mokirire kiroko tene kuthiguikia kura muthuri wagena kini wakura ria kugeithire ciana ndukame piu kiroko rutabo kana atia umwe nikarinjia rute wira muno nake ukoya mbeca cio kana atia inegene ni riega reke itukinye tukathi tukuga atiriri tukathi kugutukuga tikwega na thirikari ni cenjie ni matucenjeri muthemba uyu mekirite kindu kiria kione murona gitekega point out kana atia ndirenda kumwira ati mbegu rita riri igukorwa mbegu cia kirathi igukorwa mbegu nyingi ona mbegite ongereruka ni uria igukorwa nyingi ngacoka ngathi nganyitanira na thirikari nene nguga agency cionde andu aria monde batumitwo ni thirikari kumenyerera uboro wa fixed tondu ninju ni mwendagirwa mpembe feki mundu abanda ona tingiumande teguo riu tunyitanire turathiururuka guku tukithia tukimikaga sure mbembe yonde ria igukorwo ikiendua iria itagwa Kenya seed iria na ciandikitwo simro ikorwo mbegu safi mzuri na tikongererwa mbei kulingana na turugire endwe bagiti ya kilo 260 turacoka on top of that ngiuga andu makwa makirinya mutingiriganira wega uria wanjikire utingiriganira kwoguo ndigatige kunyitanira ni inyui na baria mwarira ona ninga kaya netikagete nume kana atia kwoguo ngakiuga niyo obara ndagia na chance ngathi ngaria na nguga atiriri tucokie o uria twathi kwariria mbeca tukurehe twike atia no mani atiriri theine witu ri ithuwe tukite kanitha witu kanitha twendete kanitha tunyitanire na abatha itu na koherethi wakiuga o undu na ihinda riaguo niguo kana tiguo ihinda riri ni ria siasa ya kinyari no tugeka atia kithe tugoka ona gutuika riu nie siasa ni muindi koragwo wayo na niye njokaga guku ta mukristiano wanyu na mukristiano tunyitanagira na theine witu wira wa Ngai ni werutagira wira wake ithuo no gutindika twikaga atia kwoguo ndirenda kumwira nie hakwa ningenete na fatha ndukaigue thina ati kanitha ni uguthira na ona theine waguo tuigwaga ona Jerusalem etianako no aria mameakaga mari na witikio ati no igwika atia tari uguo wa mukomeka wega haha na family yake na turiro mutheni muthenya wa gukena na no urona angi no gutumia matumitie theine witu na kuria guothe ndirathiururuka kirinyaga ndirera atumia maikare makene tondu ithuo twina indo besha money Ciothe ina atumi.
There is no need for keeping to manipulate figures, manipulate forest covers, manipulate activities, engaging funding and activities in places where results are not clear. Our Kenyan forests are now emitting greenhouse gases day after the other, accelerating the global crisis. Unique species of flora and fauna are continuously disappearing as their habitats are destroyed, leaving a scar in the planet's biodiversity. Customs oversight must also be strengthened to address the misuse of HS codes. This item of HS code that I mentioned lightly is a very deep thing that not only touches on the subject that I'm talking about, but also our nation is losing revenue because of misuse of HS code. Indeed, I have a lot of confidence in the current cabinet minister for environment, whom I believe if he gets the support of the presidency, he will be able to deal with some of these challenges that are so much deeply entrenched. These interconnected challenges demand a very urgent, collective, and very comprehensive action to safeguard Kenya's environment and its future, and we must be able to reaffirm its critical role in the global fight against climate change. As an intervention, I suggest that we must immediately embark on a robust ecosystem restoration program. Yes, we are talking and we are putting a lot of effort on the 15 billion trees. How can we make it practical? How can we make it in a manner that it will initiate or should focus on reclaiming degraded forests and watersheds? How do we make it to promote the use of indigenous tree species and enhance biodiversity and bolster climate resilience? How do we make it practical that it can be felt at the point where it is required most? We need a strong national forestry management policy. I know we have done a lot. I have read, we have existed with the policies that we have, including the newly or the recently introduced policy and management regulations that we have. But we must develop to govern sustainable harvesting, to ensure that enforcement of local value addition is very clear, to regulate the harmful monoculture that still exists, such as the unregulated eucalyptus plantations, because eucalyptus plant was introduced in this Kenya to deal with very specific things, including energy, including wealth creation, including other activities that we really needed to deal with. A silent tragedy has continued to unfold in our nation. This was laid bare in an expose in the last few days in our media, that more than 6 million eucalyptus trees, and when I talk about trees, you can imagine it's not just one type of tree, this is just what has been exposed, which is the lifeblood of our industries and communities. These have been harvested and lost. Also, as a leader of the Green Party, the Green Thinking Action Party, I'm here to sound the alarm and to advocate for an immediate, comprehensive, and decisive action. In this crisis, it is not merely an environmental issue. In the way that I see it, and the reason why I have called out that I speak about this, it is a multifaceted challenge driven by weak regulations on one side, deeply hidden agendas, and of course, the misuse of international trade systems. What remains is a landscape scarred by unchecked deforestation, a looming economic collapse for local communities, and the silent cries of biodiversity lost forever, not to be found. Kenya, our great nation, lacks specific comprehensive framework to regulate eucalyptus harvesting and ensure sustainable forestry. This is lacking. And not only in eucalyptus, in many other products. Regional initiatives like the Zanzibar Declaration, I think, which aim to combat illegal trade, remain under-enforced, and they continue to exacerbate this serious problem. We must bring out and we must deal with the policy gaps. We must be able to expose the hidden agenda. Kenya is suffering because of hidden agenda. You hear roads that are being that are being created, or expansion of roads in a forest like Karura Forest. And people with their good minds can think of excising 51 acres. Tomorrow it will be 150 acres. Are we in lack of what we can call ideas and innovations, where you can create roads above the existing roads? You are talking of 51 acres. Upwards of that road, you have hundreds of acres that you can use without messing up a world forest that makes Kenya to be most respected. The consequences of inaction are so dire, not just for Kenya, but for the entire region of East and Central Africa and the whole world at large. For Kenya, failure to act will undoubtedly result in this continued environmental degradation effort. Is going to end up being an economic stagnation and disempowerment that will lead to destabilizing economy and possibility of escalated conflicts. We think that we are over with trouble, but try not to act in these areas and you'll be able to see how bad things can ever and can become. What are the actions that I foresee we can be able to do? One, there is an urgent need, I suggest, to impose a moratorium on raw timber exports until a thorough audit and a very clear and robust regulatory framework is established.
Atumia ni mweka wega murugamite hapa. Muthuri angithuka nyomba mucii muno kamuraga nikora muraga murakirwa no mume thirikari-ini na mokirire kiroko tene kuthiguikia kura muthuri wagena kini waku ria kugeithire ciana ndukame piu kiroko rutabo kana atia umwe nikarejia rute wira muno nake ukoya mbeca cio kana atia inegene ni riagereke itukinye tukathi tukuga atiriri tukathi kugutukuga tikwega na thirikari ni cenjie ni matucenjeri muthemba uyu mekirite kindu kire kione muno na gitekega point out kana atia ndirenda kumwira ati mbegu rita riri igukorwa mbegu cia kirathi igukorwa mbegu nyingi ona mbegite ongererwa ni ure igukorwa nyingi gacoka ngathi nganyitanira na thirikari nene nguga agency cionde andu aria monde batumitwo ni thirikari kumenyerera uboro wa fixed toni njuni mwenda kidua mpembe feki mundu abanda ona tingiumande teguo riu tunyitanire turathiururuka guku tukithia tukimikaga sure mbembe yonde ria igukorwo ikiendua iria itagwa Kenya seed iria na ciandikitwe simro ikorwo mbegu safi mzuri na tikongererwa mbei kulingana na turugire endwe bagiti ya kilo 260. Turacoka on top of that ngiuga andu makwa makirinya mutingiriganira wega uria wanjikire utingiriganira kwogu ndigatige kunyitanira ni inyui na baria mwarira ona ninga kaya netikagete nume kana atia kwogu ngakiuga niyo obara ndagia na chance ngathi ngaria na nguga atiriri